I just wanted to also ask you about, you have done some work in the 4D trajectory predictions and traditional aviation and so on. So how do you see that applied in the AM vehicles, and how do you think that study benefits from what AM wants to achieve, at least in the midterm, short term?
Yeah, actually, my background was I was heavily involved in doing 4D trajectory synthesis and prediction for traditional air traffic control. That is actually an area that I worked on for a long period of time with some of the NASA tools that have since been deployed, including the Traffic Management Advisor now, which is now evolved into TBFM. I think that one of the things that is really exciting about the ability to share trajectories is that there it's really the basis of all the tools that we are using for separation. But ultimately, we know that if someone is sharing a trajectory, we're assuming that they are still actually actively controlling, such that they will be able to achieve their intent. And
Mm,
so I think it's still going to be really important that we be able to do conformance monitoring to make sure that all the real world uncertainties and how they may affect an intent. Can the aircraft itself recover from them? But the more accuracy we can get from that shared intent, I think the more powerful our tools could be. For
yeah. So for the separation and situational awareness, considering the 4D trajectory prediction and so on, have you considered, because this is an idea that I have been thinking about, and you mentioned 5G. Have you considered uh, peer-to-peer communication where vehicles can share this data and sort of a little bit of edge AI agentic approach, maybe? Uh,
Mhm.
because I'm an AI geek, I think about where I can implement AI, so I'm just kind of bringing it in. Maybe I'm forcing it, but what's your view? What do you think about that kind of concept?
So much of the goal of the PSU is, which is communicating at the operator level rather than like the individual vehicle level. We assume that it's going to go through the operator, and the whole goal of the PSU is to be kind of that communication bridge, such that you can share that, the intent information, not necessarily the 4D, the full 4D trajectory, but certainly operational intent. When they intend to be at specific
At what
points.
point? Yeah, yeah.
With multiple operators in operating in the same airspace. And I think we're trying to see how far that concept will take us. Um, but yes, at some point, I think you're going to have more. We're going to especially as we wander into the
As the
tactical.
density increase, well, or vehicles in the air, it will have to, because
Yeah.
this is what I've been thinking about it. Because what you're saying is pretty much more close to the traditional air traffic
Yeah.
management. Like I know in the US you have FAA, but in Europe we have multiple ANSPs. Multiple countries have their own ANSP, but we have an organization called Eurocontrol, which is kind of a European wide. It's an international organization. They have some countries which are outside of the Europe. They do, but the data is then centralized there and then provided to all the operators, airports, ANSPs, airlines, etc.